Peace, peace, peace. Soul tribe, yours truly, Ivory Soul's Journey. Grand Rising, great day, Osiyo. Good morning, bonjour. Peace and blessings to everybody. Early Risers, Soul's Journey's message. Sunday, I think today is the 13th of October. And I'm going to dive into a subject here in a second, but I really want to make sure that I give some clarity in terms of this video. This live stream is not determined to harass, bash, disrespect, disregard anybody. The views and opinions on this channel is of mine. So, having said that, it's not designed for anybody to believe or not to believe, to accept or not to accept. It is simply a morning early rise conversation. And I'm going to treat it as such because that's what I do. But there is things going on behind the scenes that soon will be revealed to so many people. And I'm not just talking about the industry. I'm talking about things being revealed even in your personal lives or the personal lives of people or a person or people that could be connected to you energetically in some form or fashion. Whether it's family, friend, or ex, meaning that this could be anybody's situation. This could be anybody's story. So we're just going to go with it with that. That 7 people, don't forget to hit the like button as you are entering the live stream. I appreciate it. Means a whole lot because trust me, the channel is heavy censored, stalked, hacked, so on and so forth. I just roll with the punches, y'all. And there are some of us that comes here to speak such things. It's always going to be targets. So we're just going to start with the fact that there are sexual cults that's being exposed and about to be exposed. Money spells. And these money spells are very, very widely used in a lot of these sex cults. Some people say, well, how do you know, Ivory? Ask the universe. Again, I'm just giving you some information. You can take it however you want. Don't forget to hit the like button as you're coming into the live chat. I know a lot of people now are hearing things and seeing things that's very shocking. Before I go forward, let me make sure that my audio is fine. So there's 14 people in the chat. If I can just get one person to say, hey, Ivory, I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear. I just want to make sure that the audio or I know ain't nothing wrong with my settings. There's nothing wrong with the audio on my end. But sometimes they do block out the screen and they block out the audio. So there's 14 people. We don't need 14 people. Now it's 20 people. We don't need 20 people at one time to say, Ivory, I can hear you. I just need one person just to let me know in the comment before I get started that y'all can hear me, that you can hear me. That's it. Let me know if you can hear me. Now we don't want to just sit here and just, I can't see y'all and y'all just look at me. Jamila la la. So you can hear me. Okay. Is that yes? Thank you, Meek Hawk. Meek Hawk, you can hear me. I appreciate that. I want to pull out my I'm gonna do this here just for the sake of doing this here. So let me do this right quick here. Hold on. One second here. Okay. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this here this morning is because it's something that a download message, intuitive messages, uh, some by way of dreams, some by way of downloads, some by way of just mere meditating. But now let me say this to you. In the United States, there's about 10,000, listen to me, there's about 10,000 cults. Not sex cults, but just cults in general. And most of these cults, I'm reading from my notes here, most of these cults operate under the radar and don't receive much national attention. However, one example of a sex cult is NXIVM. NXIVM, which has been involved in sex trafficking. So right there, we already got a connection between sex cults, and sex trafficking. Okay? Wire fraud. There's a connection when it comes down to sex cults that's connected to sex trafficking, wire fraud, and sexual coercion and forced labor. Y'all got that? An example of a sex cult, if you go and research, NXIVM is an example of a sex cult. Now, many female former members of NXIVM have shared their experiences, which have been described as a nightmare. So why am I saying this here? Why am I even talking about this morning? Just a second here. Why is it important? Hold on. Give me 1 second here. Sex cults can be real difficult to find. Once a group gets to be known for sex, the groups tends to disappear pretty quickly. Also, a generalization, they aren't looking for men. These are quote unquote women looking for women, vice versa. The modern group was NXIVM. They ran a bunch of personal involvement workshops, charged a lot of money, and recruited certain women into the circle. When word got out that they were doing in that in inner circle, the FBI and various law enforcement agency groups went in with warrants and handcuffed and took some to jail. This was a group where some women got branded, had the founders' initials burned into their skin with a red hot iron before the women were forced into sexual slavery. The senior NXIVM people are all spending time in jail. Cults tend to be well sexist. They are often far more interested in women than they are in men. So they may aggressively recruit attractive women for a variety of reasons, including to have sex with them. But they are more likely to only tolerate men as long as the men have money or skills. Unless the man is the charismatic founder, the man is far less to get much, if any, of the sex. Sex cults are a kind of myth. Yes, there are plenty of cults that focus a lot on what they do around sex. But fundamentally, they are religious and usually patriarchal. Cults that also engage in sexual practices or make sex a part of the religion. Why am I talking about this here? There was a person that was 17 years old. Now, this is years ago, back in 1980, according to my research, on bad terms with their parents and very lonely. And this person had a boyfriend who had went cross country to work in the summertime. So this was a perfect candidate to recruit. Very attractive young woman, 17 years old in 1980. I was a perfect candidate, what they call low-hanging fruit. Y'all heard that term before, haven't you? Someone approached me on the street when I was walking home after work to ask if I would be interested in doing the Oxford personality analysis. Listen at this now. That was developed at Oxford University in England. This was something that I had keen interest in. And what 17-year-old doesn't want to understand themselves better? This is the bait, the trick. After spending about 3 hours getting evaluated, I signed up for a communication course for $50. This was the first day of a 10-year cult involvement in church Scientology. The aim of the personality test is to get a person to talk about themselves, and the evaluator is to find the person's ruins. That thing that reduces the test takers to a pile of tears. Then the pattern is Scientology. Dianetics can help you with that and then quickly enroll them in a course. At 17, this person with all the real problems, the thing that got this person to that magic state with the evaluator was the confession that I wanted to lose 10 pounds. How silly is that? But I was a silly and pliable 17-year-old. It never occurred to me that I had joined a cult. These people were so easygoing and fun. I find an instant group of friends and felt positively euphoric. I quickly forgot about 10 pounds. In fact, I didn't need to lose any weight, but I thought I looked better as a very skinny girl. This was a woman. So shortly after joining this cult, which entails signing a 2.5-year contract, listen, 2.5-year contract, I was absolutely in love with Scientology. This honeymoon period lasted a couple of years, and there was very hard times in there as more and more time is demanded from you, but no remuneration. I was increasingly exhausted and poor, but the rest were in the same boat and fed each other's zeal. We had the goals and aims of the cult that we were motivated by. After a couple of years, I signed a billion year, listen to this, not $1 billion. After a couple of years, I signed a billion-year contract, billion-year contract, and moved to Los Angeles to join an even more stringent and fanatical section of Scientology. In LA, I was really trapped, although I didn't feel that way for a while until I wanted to leave. At that point, I realized I was truly a prisoner, emotionally in prison, and physically. I was guarded for 24 hours a day for the last 6 months of my C organization career, while I made to a hard manual labor. The C organization is the level of the staff that you had signed $1 billion contract to. What am I saying here, folks? Okay, that was 2 guys. One of them was rich, had a lot of money. And what this person would do, and in some cases, what I'm getting ready to share here, in some cases, it sounds like some shit that you would probably hear in quote unquote P. Diddy situation, but we're not going there. But I just wanted y'all to pay attention to something, because this is being carried out. They're recruiting people that are vulnerable, mostly women though. But this is ran, these cults, this particular one that I'm talking about is ran by a man. And he's filthy rich. Now, a lot of them have gone to jail. You have a lot of entertainer stars in Hollywood that they're no longer doing movies because this is their number one involvement. So they needed to have a covering, and that cover was politics. They needed laws passed, folks. And as you can see, somebody signed a 1 billion year. That's some sick shit. 1 billion year contract. 1 billion year. And this person became a slave. If I read the rest of this here story that I read in a book and took notes from that book, and then matched it up with some of the criminal justice articles, testimonies, and so on and so forth, just to put it together to come up with my notes. So for me to offer this here to you. So it's kind of like, why was I receiving these downloads? Why was I receiving that? Nothing about me gay. I really personally, you can do whatever you want, say whatever you want, be whatever you want, live your life however you want it. I'm just not involved in that, and I'm not even interested. In fact, I don't even like being around the energy. Because, see, here's this thing with the money aspect. You take a sister or a brother, but in this case, you take a sister who's down and out on finances, and you take, give me 1 second here, give me 1 second here. That down and out on money, who needs some help. And with this sister needing help, that's part of the bait. And you get these men, quote unquote, to these sisters who seemingly is handsome or attractive. And they're lured in by attending certain events, or just seen walking the streets, or just seen at the bus stop waiting on the bus to go to work, like this his young sister was. And they're approached. All media, social media, all social media, they're recruiters. There probably at least one recruiter that may even come to this damn page. I don't know. They're recruiters. And what they do is they're catching people in vulnerable stages in their life. One of the main recruitments pools, if you will, one of their main, there's several. Let me just say a few. Let me just name off a couple of their recruiting centers, if you will, pools. Church. Yeah, the church. Entertainment. Corporation CEOs. Politics. And those that are vulnerable who are new to the country. There are over nearly 100,000 kids that are unaccounted for in the past almost 4 years during the Biden administration, that are unaccounted for. Many of these kids, girls and boys, are now recruited and used for sex slaves. Many of these kids are used. But the darker side of this here, there was two guys, as I was stating earlier. But let me set it up for you. One of these guys went to jail for some other legal matters. And the other guy was not. So when the guy that was locked up was released, he immediately met with the guy that didn't get locked up. So the guy that didn't get locked up had a plan. And the plan was for the person who got locked up that had a lot of money. You can funnel this money or channel this money through a whole nother business venture. That way, if you get locked up again, when you come out, you straight. So they met at a hotel. Now, the guy that didn't get locked up, he had a woman with him. The guy that did get locked up, he came by himself. And as they were sitting there talking to having a business discussion on what they were going to do, the guy that got locked up, listen to me good, he pulled out a flyer. I'm just going to pull this out. He pulled out a flyer and he gave it to the other guy. So when the other guy looked at the flyer, he saw all these his satanic rituals. I can't think of this here deity's name, but this sex deity, some say demon, was on the cover, the headlight of this flyer. And there were people that had on these things like a monk covering their head, like a, I don't know, a pillowcase or something to cover up their head to hide their identity. So the brother who didn't get locked up, who had a woman with him at the hotel, this woman began to get fascinated with this here rich guy that had got released and knew of this here famous rich guy and wanted to get some pictures. The mere touching this individual, the fact that this woman was, I don't know, fan shocked, star shocked, or what have you, wanted to take a picture, you know, hug and take a picture. And the fact that she got that close to this energy, immediately, let's just say something came over her. So now you got this guy who done passed the other guy a flyer of a sexual ritual on the cover of this flyer. And he's sitting on the bed. So the other guy that was meeting with this guy to have this plan, this business plan, and really it was for recruitment, but the guy that didn't get locked up, he didn't know that this person was trying to recruit him. So it turns dark because this here particular person, this dark person, sat on the bed, took his pants down, and he opened his legs, and he had female organs. So the other guy was shocked. Damn, be careful. Right then and there, Spirit told that brother, be careful who you entertain. So now this guy's in shock and awe, like, God damn, I thought this was a man. I thought this was a man. So now this guy, he goes over to his woman and said, look, we got to get the hell out of here. She didn't want to leave. She didn't even know she was now under some sort of a spell just by touching this person. So he went and showed her the card, the flyer. And she says, I don't believe that. I ain't into that. He says, regardless if you in it or not, I'm trying to tell you what you're getting involved with. I'm trying to show you and tell you that we can't do no business. In fact, we need to get out of here. We need to get this guy out of this hotel room, or we need to leave. So they picked up the phone, called the front desk, and asked for security to come to the room. So here comes security. But by then, the brother that was straight, he opened up the hotel room door and left it open. But by then, the brother that was into the sex trafficking and that was a part of his sex cult had called for backup. And before you knew it, while the brother that was straight was talking to security, the woman that was with him was back in the room, hugging and kissing this dark ass energy. So by the time security and the straight guy enter the room and see them hugging and kissing, the other straight man goes over to his woman, snatches her away, shoved her out of the room. I would have left her ass. Shoved her out of the room, the hotel room. So now you got this sex cult leader and the brother that they was the straight brother. They're out in the hallway, and security has pulled them apart. So now security is over here talking to the straight brother. And the brother that was a part of the cult was standing in the background, still talking to that sister. And before you knew it, other people showed up. And at that time, the hotel manager and security was up there. So you got about 10 or 15 people out in the hallway. Real shit, y'all. You got 10 or 15 people out in the hallway. So I'm like, Spirit, what is all of this? What does this have to do with me? What does this have to do with me? By now, the brother that was not gay is being bombarded because the security was paid by the sex cult leader on payroll. The hotel manager was paid by the sex cult on payroll. So the straight brother is all by himself against the cult leader, security, the hotel management, and the people that the sex cult leader called. Now it's just him. So the brother goes back, the straight brother goes back into the hotel room because his woman had one in there. He goes in and he closes the door. They begin to argue. She said that her man was jealous of a man that's got a vagina. Jealous of a man. Hold on. Jealous of a man that had a vagina. So now, all of a sudden, this person has a problem. And he can't get out of there. Now we hear things like P. Diddy and a lot of his dealings outside of his home was done at hotels. That apparently he had hotel staff people paid. When they found him and caught him and arrested him, he was at a hotel. Here's the thing, the dark side. We're about to find out, not by P. Diddy, but about a lot of these here dark sex cults. And what I mean by that is you're going to find a lot of people, professional, entertainers, actors and actresses, politicians, leaders, and regular people are going to be coming out. Because, for example, if you can name people that has sex changes, then you're going to be shocked and surprised. I want to do a part 2 on this because you're going to find out if everything goes according to schedule, this exposure, you're going to find that there's a lot of men that don't have female organs. And you're going to find a lot of women that don't have, you're going to find a lot of men that don't have male organs. And you're going to find a lot of women that don't have female organs. That you voted for, you bought their music, you watch their movies, and things of this nature. And the question is, who all was in the room? Not just with P. Diddy. Because some of y'all, you're going to find out that you've been dealing with people that they got, if you're a woman, this man got the same thing you got. If you're a man, this woman had the same thing. And when that comes out, it's going to be explosive. Stick around for part 2 coming up. Peace.